This is the audio program for Here in America by David Edgar, presented by Burning Coal Theater. Production. Producer, Director, Jerome Davis. Stage Manager, Rebecca Peace. Set Designer, Tom Birch. Lighting Designer, Matthew Adelson. Costumer, Linda Clark. Properties, Linda Clark. Sound Designer, Juan Isler. Assistant Director, Natalie Cooper. Assistant Director, Susan Gross. Technical Director, Barry Jaked. Scenic Charge, Meredith Riggin. Assistant Stage Manager, Lauren Hess. Assistant Stage Manager, Asia Mayfield. Board Operator, Jonathan Breckbiel. Board Operator, Cal Stoke. Cast. Art, Andrew Goggins. Gadge, Chip Carey. Miss Bauer, Emma Rowe. Day, Sarah Winter.
Director's Note from Jerome Davis.
Working with David Edgar over the last 25 or so years has been one of the joys of my professional life. He is a great playwright by anyone's standards. His work has been seen by millions of theater goers around the world and by tens of millions on television, Nicholas Nickleby, and film Lady Jane. We have produced now 5 of his plays in a total of, let me count, 12 different productions. We have premiered The Shape of the Table, Written on the Heart, and now, Here in America in the United States. One of the things that makes David so unique as an artist is that he just wants to have his work seen. If you want to produce him, he's interested in you. That seems like something that would be hardwired into every playwright. But it does not appear to be the case. Most people who aren't intimately familiar with the theater community, and even many who are, do not know how getting a play works. Here is a basic outline. First, the play gets written. Then it gets produced. If it is good, it will get produced at a significant theater. If it is really good, it will get produced by a significant theater in New York City or London. There have been a few exceptions to this, but generally that is the stamp of approval that then launches a writer's work into the theater world and numerous productions around the world. I once talked to playwright Tom Griffin, who wrote the wildly successful comedy The Boys Next Door. He told me that the play was being performed somewhere in the world every single night of the year. It started with an off-Broadway production and went on from there. It is around this point that the agents get involved. Once you have had a play successfully produced in New York or London, your script will get published. The rights will often go into the vast vault of either Dramatist Play Service or Concord Theatricals, previously Samuel French. When a theater the size of Burning Coal writes to DPS or Concord, the first step is for the rights company to phone around to nearby larger theaters and ask, "Wouldn't you really like to be doing this?" Or so it seems, because very often the royalties request takes weeks and weeks, and then the answer comes back, "Sorry, no, the play is not currently available in your area." If it's not currently available in our area, why did it take weeks to let me know? This is a little bit like going to the grocery store, selecting a loaf of bread, taking it to the cashier, and being told, "Let me call the wealthy family down the block and see if they wouldn't like this bread. Hold tight." In other words, the system we tolerate is one fundamentally undemocratic, even oligarchic in nature. Who'd have thunk it? My point is that David doesn't operate that way. If you want to produce him, he's all in. At least that has been the case for these past 12 productions. Had he asked how many seats in their theater, or what's their top ticket price, or even who's on their board, then most, if not all, of those dozen productions might never have happened. If he had let his agent determine who did or didn't get to produce his work, we might still be waiting for a positive response. Thankfully, he is a different sort. Perhaps that is why when he writes about democracy, people take note. Jerome Davis, Artistic Director, November 2025. Learn more about the creator of Here in America. David Edgar, one of Britain's most influential political playwrights, is known for exploring how personal belief and public policy collide. Born in Birmingham in 1948, he began as a journalist, a background that still informs his sharp, socially urgent writing. Since the 1970s, Edgar has written over 60 plays that have been performed worldwide, often focusing on individuals confronting political or social upheaval. His breakout play, Destiny, 1976, tackled the rise of the far right in Britain, and his acclaimed adaptation of Nicholas Nickleby for the Royal Shakespeare Company showed his range and ambition. Other key works such as Maydays, Pentecost, and Playing with Fire continue his profound engagement with ideology and its profound impact on humanity. Edgar also founded the UK's first MA in playwriting studies, shaping future generations of writers. Here in America, he brings his signature political insight and emotional depth to a story rooted in U.S. history. Here in America will be the 12th time Burning Coal has produced a play by David Edgar. Matthew E. Adelson, lighting designer, has designed extensively for Burning Coal since 1998, including all of their work in London and their recent productions of Sea Change, Merrily We Roll Along, and A Little Night Music. Other recent productions include The Elephant Man, Metamorphosis, and A Christmas Carol, Berkshire Theatre Group. How to Not Save the World with Mr. Bezos and Madame Mozart, The Lacrimosa, Great Barrington Public Theatre, and Penelope, Ancrum Center for the Arts. Matthew is the production manager for 5 college dance, Amherst, Hampshire, Mount Holyoke, and Smith Colleges and the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and is a graduate of the Yale Drama School. Jonathan Breckbiel, board operator. Jonathan is excited to be working on his first theatrical production and would like to thank his family and Cameron. Tom Birch, scenic designer. For Burning Coal, The Weir, and Moonlight. New York City, Mistakes Were Made, off-Broadway Barrow Street. Journey to Oz, Symphony Space. The Hypocrites Pirates of Penzance. New York University, Skirball. He was based in Chicago for a decade, where credits include shows at Chicago Shakespeare, the Goodman Court, Victory Gardens, Northlight, and many others. 5 Jeff Award nominations, 1 win. Regional, Berkeley Repertory, Actors Theatre Louisville, American Repertory, Cleveland Playhouse, Arizona Theatre Company, Repertory Theatre of St. Louis, Milwaukee Repertory, Pasadena Playhouse, and others. Tom is a professor of design at UNC Charlotte and a recently added collective member at Goodyear Arts. Linda Clark is an accomplished actor, director, costume designer, and acting coach with numerous film and television credits, including Crazy People, The Perfect Crime, I Know What You Did Last Summer, The Water is Wide, and recurring roles on the CBS series American Gothic and Showtime series Lynx. Linda was part of a team of theater professionals who originated the NC State University summer repertory program that was Theater Fest, where she was a leading lady for over 30 years. She has appeared extensively on regional stages including Theater in the Park, North Carolina Theater, Theater Raleigh, Virginia Stage, Cape Fear Regional Theater, and Temple Theater. Favorite shows for Burning Coal include Macbeth, Night and Day, The Cherry Orchard, and Copenhagen. She also appears in regional commercials, industrials, training films, and indie projects. Linda is recognized as one of our region's most distinguished theater artists with a career spanning 4 decades. Jerome Davis, director. For Burning Coal Theater, Merrily We Roll Along, Copenhagen, A Little Night Music, Arcadia, Evita, Ash in Johannesburg, The Weir, Rat in the Skull, Pentecost, Winding the Ball, Steward of Christendom, Night and Day, Company, Road to Mecca, Juno and the Paycock, Accidental Death of an Anarchist, Taming of the Shrew, Inherit the Wind, Hamlet, Hysteria, Prisoner's Dilemma, 1960, The Seafarer, Shape of the Table, Enron, Jude the Obscure, Parts 1 and 2, Shining City, The Heretic, Iron Curtain Trilogy, Raleigh and London, Sunday in the Park with George, Spoonface Steinberg, Written on the Heart, Dark Vanilla Jungle, London. Iphigenia, in Splot, Raleigh and D.C. Acting: Love Labour's Lost, Mound Builders, St. Nicholas. Skylight in Tally's Folly, Raleigh and London. Also, Skylight in Orlando and King Lear, Lear, Wilmington. Other: See How They Run, Southern Pines, Twelfth Night in Apex, and Turn of the Screw for North Carolina Opera. Jerry worked with or studied with Uta Hagen, Adrian Hall, Richard Jenkins, Hope Davis, Horton Foote, Dennis O'Hare, Nikos Sacharopoulos, Julie Bavasso, Steve Harris, Ralph White, Oliver Platt, Ben Gazzara, and Ellen Burstyn at Trinity Repertory, Providence. People's Light in Theater, Philadelphia. New Jersey Shakespeare, Soho Repertory. Barrow Group, Columbia University. Phoenix Theater. This is his 29th year running Burning Coal, which he and his wife Simi Kastner founded in 1995. He received the 2019 Raleigh Medal of Arts. Susan Gross, Assistant Director for Burning Coal, Bringing Them Home, The Oakwood Cemetery Plays, Disaster at Lakeview, Regrets of Man. Kids Right, 2024. As an actor, Susan made her off-Broadway debut in the New York premiere of Christopher Durang's The Vietnamization of New Jersey. In New York City, she performed at Theatre Row, The Brick, Dixon Place, and Teatro Latia. In Boston, Susan performed with Lyric Stage, New Repertory Theater, What, and Greater Boston Stage Company. Susan performed her solo show Ruby as part of Burning Coal's second stage series. Ruby received its premiere in New York with Tongue-in-Cheek Theater and was nominated for Best Performance, Direction, and Production of a Solo Show at Planet Connections Theater Festivity. Most recently, she directed Leaning Curves, a solo show by Jake Lippman, which premiered this August at Burning Coal. She is a proud member of Actors Equity, Dramatists Guild, and SAG-AFTRA. Lauren Hess, Assistant Stage Manager. This is Lauren's second production with Burning Coal Theater, her first as an ASM. Last fall, she performed as a violist in Copenhagen. She currently attends Enloe High School. Juan Eisler, Sound Design. A native of Kinston, North Carolina, Juan grew up singing and earned a music business degree from Winston-Salem State University. He has worked as a technical director for a local news station, been a DJ in a local nightclub, and a choir director. He has worked on more than 50 plays in venues across the Triangle and Triad of North Carolina. His success has been on all sides of a theatrical performance, as an actor, technician, and director. He is a recipient of the Raleigh Arts Commission Medal of Arts Award and a current member of the Arts Commission. He is currently a finance and operations specialist at NC State University. Barry Jake, Technical Director, is the resident technical director and has been working as a technical director or master electrician for Burning Coal since 2011. Most recently for Burning Coal: Copenhagen, The Rainmaker, Paint Me This House of Love, Being Chaka, Merrily We Roll Along. If it needs to be built, plugs in, and turns on, Barry takes care of it. He would like to thank Jerry Davis for putting up with him for all these years. Asia Mayfield, Assistant Stage Manager. This is Asia's second time working in production with Burning Coal Theater. However, Asia is a talented dancer and has won 10 dance competitions as a dance soloist. Asia's high school theater experience includes King Lear and The Little Mermaid. Jim Martin, Assistant Technical Director, is a right-left brain designer and builder. He is a professor of chemistry at North Carolina State University, where his research involves designing and building with atoms and molecules. Outside the classroom and lab, wood is his primary medium for designing and building everything from toys to houses. He was introduced to scenic design and construction as a theater dad at Wiley Elementary, Fred J. Carnage Middle, and Enloe High Schools. He has helped build sets at Burning Coal Theater, Theater in the Park, and Justice Theater Project. He enjoys the artistic and technical challenges of scenic design and construction and finds it particularly rewarding to work with student designers to transform their ideas into reality on stage. Full design and builds include Hamiltunes at Burnacle Theater and Metamorphosis at Enloe High School. Lead carpenter, Fools, Miss Saigon, and mentor with student lead carpenters, the Scottish play, Into the Woods for Enloe High School. Jim previously served on the Wake County Board of Education and currently serves on the board of Burnacle Theater. Rebecca Peace, stage manager, for Burnacle Theater, once. Other credits include She Kills Monsters, Jacqueline Hyde, The Ghost of Splinter Cove, You on the Moors Now, Blithe Spirit. Rebecca is thrilled to be doing her second production at Burnacle Theater Company, and she would like to thank her family and friends for all their support. Enjoy the show. Meredith Riggin, scenic charge artist. Meredith is a North Carolina-based artist and is excited to be returning to Burnacle Theater Company for the production of Here in America. This is Meredith's 11th season painting for Burnacle Theater. After receiving her bachelor's degree in scenic art from the University of North Carolina School of the Arts, Meredith has worked as the scenic charge artist at several theaters around North Carolina, including William Peace University, Half Pint Theater, Sweet Tea Shakespeare, Triad Stage, City Arts Greenboro Children's Theater, the Winston-Salem Theater Alliance, ECU Lowson Playhouse, along with several freelance jobs such as painting for the International Festival and painting custom pet portraits and works of art. Coltrane, shop dog paint assistant. Coltrane is excited to be a part of another production at Burnacle Theater. He has been assisting his scenic artist mom in several theaters since he was 7 weeks old, and is now a seasoned shop dog at 13 years. He has no formal training in scenic art, but he is great at supervising projects, looking cute, and tries to leave a paw print on every set. Cal Stoke, light op. This is Cal's first show with Burnacle Theater. Other credits include They Promised Her the Moon, Dr. Lovelace, Lovesick, Andy, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, Failure, A Love Story, No Exit, The Claim, Hamlet, Watergate, The Musical Experience, American Hero, and Post-Grad. He is currently a sophomore studying journalism and education at UNC Chapel Hill. Camden Trimmer, marketing development intern, is quite jolly to be helping out here in Burnacle, and thanks you for coming to see this informative show. Camden is a recent graduate of Catawba College, majoring in theater arts administration and directing. He has recently been unseen as sound designer of Witness for the Prosecution, The Holiday Channel, and sound projection operator of Lizzie at Lee Street Theater in Salisbury, as well as director and sound designer of I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, and Alabaster at Catawba College. In the Raleigh scene, he has been involved in shows at Interact, such as Gay Card, Footloose, and 9 to 5. He hopes you all enjoy the show. Jack Taylor Wood, marketing development intern, is thrilled to be a part of the Burnacle team this season. Jack is a student from Raleigh with a long-standing interest in performance and storytelling. Outside of the theater, he spends his time reading, watching TV, and getting outside when he can. He's grateful for the chance to learn from the Burnacle team and to contribute to the work that happens both on stage and off, and he hopes you enjoy the show. Carrie Von Sprouse, assistant director, house manager, has been with Burnacle Theater since 2013 as their lead house manager and front of house coordinator. She has also stage managed, assistant stage managed, and assistant directed numerous productions in her time at Burnacle. Her favorites are The Heretic, 2013, Iron Curtain Trilogy, Raleigh and London Tours, 2014, Romeo and Juliet, 2015, Dark Vanilla Jungle, London Tour, 2016, The Normal Heart, 2018, 100 Words for Snow, 2020, I and You, 2021, A Great Big Woolly Mammoth Thawing from the Ice, 2022, and Radio, 2024. Chip Carey, Gadge. This is Chip's first production with Burnacle. Other theater credits, Coming Home, TU Studios Los Angeles, and Arsenic and Old Lace, Wall to Wall Theater, Pasadena. He has produced and starred in 2 international award-winning films, Who the is Jackie Bumpers and Dufomp's Passing, the latter of which was most recently recognized at the Almeria Western Film Festival in Spain. He is proud to have trained under Deb Aquia, Anthony Montez, and Wendy Ward. Andrew Goins grew up in rural northeast North Carolina in Currituck County. He is a recent graduate of East Carolina University with concentrations in musical theater and acting. You may have seen him recently as Danny Zuko in Grease with Temple Theater, then again with Rhino League Productions, Ensemble, Nuke, Understudy in Bull Durham with Theater Raleigh, Joey Primo in Rock of Ages, and Sky and Mamma Mia, both with East Carolina University Summer Theater. Andrew would like to thank his family and girlfriend for the support and love, and he is very grateful to be performing for the first time with Burning Coal. Emma Rowe, Miss Bauer, and Barbara. For Burning Coal Theater, Merrily We Roll Along. Other Regional, Blithe Spirit, Romeo and Juliet, The Ghost of Splinter Cove, Death by Design, The Wedding Singer, Antigone, Cinderella, Zombie Prom, The Wolves, Much Ado About Nothing, Henry V, Little Shop of Horrors, Almost Maine, Willy Wonka, Assistant Choreographer, Mary Poppins, Oklahoma, Lil Abner, Annie, Guys and Dolls, Seussical, Cinderella, Dames at Sea, and Once Upon a Mattress. Emma is a proud graduate with a Bachelor of Fine Arts from William Peace University. She would like to thank her friends and family for their endless love and support. Emma hopes you all enjoy the show. Sarah Lynn Winter, Molly Day Kazan. For Burning Coal Theater, Merrily We Roll Along, A Little Night Music, Sunday in the Park with George, Romeo and Juliet, Off-Broadway, Free Fall Frostbite. For Honest Pint Theater, A Chorus Line. For Theater in the Park, The 39 Steps, Psycho Beach Party. For Storybook Theater, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. For Raleigh Little Theater, The Rocky Horror Show, Spring Awakening, The Boyfriend, Ruthless, The Brementown Musicians, Hairspray, Cinderella. For Carey Players, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. For Bear Theater, Titus Andronicus. For Seed Art Share, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Sarah is a freelance web designer, Pilates instructor, and creative and administrative professional who just ran her 6th marathon. She's grateful for the challenge of this role and thankful for the opportunity to once again share the Burning Coal stage with such incredibly talented artists. Love to Christian. We thank our 2025-2026 supporters. If you would like to join Burning Coal's growing list of supporters, please give us a call at 919-834-4001 to make a tax-deductible contribution. And a big thanks to all of our season advocates for 2025. We couldn't have done this without you. Season benefactors, $500 to $999. Richard and Donna Falvo, Jane Florence, Grace Gregson, Steve and Kristen Hess, Joseph Huberman and Ruth Brommer, Deborah Keefe, Annie Long, Paul Leon and Lisa Jerome, Jim and Linda Martin, Richard and Carol McNeil, David Ranney, Natalie Redder and Jeff Enders, Jim Smith, Celia Zuvik. Thank you to our donors. Donor roll is reflective of donations given in the current calendar year. Email development@burningcoal.org to become a donor today. Season patrons, $1,000 and above. Jeanne L. Abmayer, Elizabeth King and Blaine Gerber, Leah Lewis, Susan and Ron Acock, Dorothy Lickwart, Carla J. Berryann, Greg Paul and Mary Hart Paul, Pamela Blizzard and Willis Lumpkin, Ralph and Francine Robertson, Anne Sakala, Lisa and Larry Rubenstein, Linda Davis, John Rusher and Mary Nash Rusher, Alec and Georgia Donaldson, John Surratt and Kathy Klotzberger, Glenn Durham and George Jakulik, Eric and Kim Schneider, Dawn Enix, Connie and Robert Schertz, Dawn and Kay Hobart, Smith Anderson Law Firm, Martha Hulsbeck and Chris Bavilak, Triangle Community Foundation, Curtis Cassafang and Sharon O'Neill, Arlene and David Vining, Mark and Marcia Kastner, the Warner Fund Incorporated, Simi Kastner and Jerome Davis, Mark and Tricia Wilson. This program is supported in part by a grant from the United Arts Council of Raleigh and Wake County. Additional support is provided by the North Carolina Arts Council, a division of the Department of Cultural Resources. Burning Coal is supported in part by the City of Raleigh through a grant from the Raleigh Arts Commission. Thank you to our season sponsors: the United Arts Council, the Raleigh Arts Council, the Residence Inn, Raleigh Downtown, 10th and Terrace Restaurant, Oma's Cafe and Wine Bar, the Red Bird Event Venue, Edible Art Bakery and Dessert Cafe, theclassicalstation.org, Smith Anderson Law Firm, and Raleigh Wood Media Group. Thank you to our Take a Seat and Fuel the Fire donors who have helped upgrade your burning coal experience. Through your donations, we have been able to purchase the brand new chairs you're sitting in, as well as a new light board for all of our season productions. Thank you so much. We couldn't have done it without you. Save the date for our spring fundraiser, Saturday, March 21st, 2026. Join us for our monthly staged reading of the play My Name is Rachel Corey, in partnership with different communities from around the Triangle. All performances are free with a suggested donation of $10.